What's up, y'all? Welcome to my channel. Really appreciate you taking time to tune in today. Truly means a lot. And if you're watching this on Instagram, be sure to go over to my YouTube page, subscribe, press the like button on this video, and let's embark on this new journey together. And likewise, if you're watching this on YouTube and you have an Instagram, which about 95% sure you do, follow me on Instagram at the No Stopping Kev Show. Make sure you click that follow and share this post. So I'm finally starting on doing something that I've wanted to do and thought about doing for a while now, and that's breaking down basketball plays. If you follow me, if you listen to my podcast, you know that I'm a basketball coach. I coach basketball at my former high school, Master East South in South Philadelphia. And I just love teaching kids the game. I love breaking down the reason why you do the things you do in the game of basketball. You know, why you're setting screens, why you're setting them at certain angles, why you might set a solid screen versus blurring a screen. I love going through all of that stuff. And, you know, I guess that's the point guard / coach in me. So today, I'm sure you all have seen it by now. I'm going to talk about Anthony Davis's game winner in Game 2 against the Denver Nuggets and exactly what led AD to knocking down such a clutch shot that was still contested by the Joker. Nonetheless, AD got his boys that 2-0 lead. They were down one late. It was 103-102. Denver was up one, and with 2 seconds left, Anthony Davis gets a contested / I still like to say for great players, it's a clean look, and he knocks it down to give his team the victory, and the Lakers take a 2-0 lead. But you know, I just was like, wow, how did he get to that position? You know, how did he get that opportunity to win the game? So in this video, I'm going to break down what happened in that play and ultimately, you know, highlight the mistakes that kind of led to Denver's demise in Game 2. Remember, if you find anything of value in this video, smash that like button and make sure you subscribe and click the bell for more. Alright, so jumping in right off the bat, right? You have Rondo inbounding here. You have LeBron at like the elbow, AD at the elbow. You have a good shooter in Danny Green and Caldwell Pope, who in some games knocks down shots. You know, things to be mindful, but again, Lakers are down one. They don't necessarily have to shoot a three. All right. So, you know, you have Joker up right here, pressuring the ball. I don't know if this camera angle is playing tricks, but, you know, he definitely wants to be taking away this pass in here if he can. You don't want to give up an easy pass right under the basket. So, you know, I think he is in position. It could just be a little depth perception thing here. But, you know, he's a big guy. Rondo's a smaller guy, so you know his job there is just to make that pass as difficult as possible for Rondo. You have Jamal Murray right here in pretty good position. His man's in the corner. He's in the passing lane. He can also see the whole floor in case he needs to help towards the middle of the floor. One area that I got a little nervous here, and I think it might be the depth perception. You know, I thought early on Dozier might have. I mean, Danny Green's not the quickest guy, but I was like, man, he's a little bit at risk if Danny's able to kind of get outside that shoulder for an easy cut here, bounce pass from Rondo for 2 points. But Dozier ends up doing a great job not allowing that to happen. But other than that, you know, everybody else to start is in pretty good defensive position. So when we let the play roll a little bit, you know, AD and Danny Green kind of fake that screen. Danny Green crashes down. So Dozier, like I said, does do a great job of not letting that pass get in there. Caldwell Pope just kind of lifts up a little bit, forces Jamal Murray to move. But what I really want to key in on, let's go back a little bit. All right, so what's going to happen here is a look that we're pretty familiar with. We see it quite a bit. You know, Anthony Davis is going to come flying over here to this wing area. LeBron ends up crashing down. They could have gone one or two ways here. You know, AD had a hot hand that night. So, you know, at this point in the game, AD had 28 points. So you definitely got to account for him. No question about it. But you also got to account for LeBron James, right? That's what you would think when you got the best player in the world on the floor. Lakers ended up using LeBron as a bit of a decoy. So, you always got to worry about, them kind of isolating the floor for LeBron. And, Rondo throwing that little looping lob pass over once he seals Grant. And then letting him go one-on-one with 2 seconds. 2 seconds, one-on-one, catching the ball on a lob pass. That's going to be a tough shot. All right, so Lakers do a great job of this action. So what they end up doing is, I think LeBron crashes a little bit, but AD comes flying off over to this wing area. But they actually do a great job of getting some movement. So after Danny Green kind of crashes down after he fakes coming off a down screen from AD, AD then comes flying over to the wing. Right, just that little bit of hesitation, just so Plumlee thinks he has to defend a down screen, kind of slows him up a little bit. And then LeBron kind of creates some space by, trying to crash down towards the block to free up some area on that wing. But just looking at that initial setup, that because Jamal Murray is taking this away, Dozier is going to take anything in here away if Danny Green crashes down. A direct pass to AD will be tough. The ball has to come somewhere over there, right? Cool. So now we let this play run a little bit. AD goes taking off to that wing. And for some reason, I'll go in slow motion. So if you notice, Plumlee kind of comes up and immediately shrinks back. Instead of closing the space on Anthony Davis, he actually creates more space, which is what every shooter wants. Now, in a situation like this, if you're Plumlee, your objective is to stay connected. And one thing that really stood out to me here is the way I look at playing defense is kind of like a balance between three things. Two of the most important things I think are anticipation and reaction. And then the third thing I like to kind of think about, but it gets tricky, is, dictating what the offensive guy does. And I'll talk about that in another video. But in this instance, Mason Plumlee just displays a pretty big imbalance between anticipation and reaction. So, if I'm Mason Plumlee, I'm getting here, or I'm meeting Anthony Davis somewhere over here in between the ball and his body, right? I don't need him beating me to any spot where Rondo can make an easy pass in. Instead, let me do this in red. Plumlee begins to go back here to LeBron, and then he'll point, I guess, trying to call a switch from Grant to jump out here and meet Anthony Davis. All right, but that doesn't really work in this scenario because, one, Grant doesn't really have the best angle to get there. Two, there's really no need for Mason Plumlee to switch in the first place because generally you only switch when there's some type of action like a screen. Nothing comes. So when I go back to talking about that balance between anticipation and reaction, he was heavily anticipating a screen coming, but he didn't react to the screen not showing up. So in that case, you just really, like I said before, you just really want to stay connected so that there's no easy inbound opportunities to get a quick shot off. So again, he calls switch. If we stop it there, LeBron has two people on him. And now Joker, the moment that ball leaves, he's turning to go double because he knows it's not enough time to come back to his man anyway. And LeBron screens essentially Plumlee and Grant. And AD gets off a pretty good look over the Joker. So like from a coaching standpoint, I always think about, what guys might say, especially my high schoolers, because they come up with every excuse imaginable as to why they did what they did, which, usually when we're having these conversations, because mistakes were made. It's fine. I use them all as learning experiences. I love my guys. For a lot of them, it's their first time playing organized basketball with an actual coach where they're learning a system and things of that nature. But I was like, all right, this is the moment where Plumlee's calling for that switch. Even, let's just say Grant was like, all right, He's calling for the switch. If Grant jumps out there, right, there's still a chance for LeBron to kind of step in here and seal, right? And then Rondo can fake a pass, move Joker over, and you kind of got a bounce pass in there or a lob pass. However, he got to get it there. Rondo's such a gifted passer that now you're giving LeBron a look, in this mid-post area for a 2-point floater, put back layup with 2 seconds left. A lot can happen when you got a guy that is that great. So there was just so much wrong with that play. The two main things that jumped out to me is, that imbalance between reaction and anticipation. One of the biggest lessons I learned playing basketball when it comes to switching is see it, talk it, touch it. Thanks, Coach Mike from Penn. See it, meaning, you see the opportunity to switch, you see the screen coming, it makes sense for your personnel on the floor, whether it's guard to guard, big to big, whatever. If it makes sense to switch there, you identify that. Element number 2 is talk it. Make sure you and your teammate are on the same page, because how many times have we seen guys be like, yo, you gotta call out the switch. I didn't know if you were fighting through. So you gotta talk it out. The third thing is touch it. So touch it just means you and your teammate essentially come together, kind of make contact, and you're trading off the offensive players you're guarding. That helps prevent opportunities where guys can kind of slip. Some guys like to screen and slip because there's that little gap. There's an avenue to dive towards the basket. When you touch it, it takes away that opportunity because you stay connected. So see it, talk it, touch it. I might do a video to demo this concept in greater detail. Those are the 2 big things I see in this video. And then also, even if Grant did switch, it's like pick your poison, because now LeBron has an even better look than that seal and lob over that, they had the potential to do from the jump. But yeah, so I have no idea what Mason Plumlee was doing. I don't know if he was scared of AD, why he, I know they probably were in a switch everything situation, but there was nothing to switch. A lot of times when I'm coaching, especially in practice, guys kind of know the plays. So, defensively, like, when you're going to get screened. I have defensive guys they'll just kind of give up on playing on ball defense and let guys screen them. And it's like, no, make them screen you. Mason Plumlee, you got to make LeBron screen you to force a switch. Don't just switch. You play lazy defense, you try to take a shortcut. That's when you get burned, and that's when you lose ball games. So late in games, switch everything situations, try to stay connected. So yeah, Mason Plumlee, I am sorry. And for those that don't know, I'm a huge Duke basketball fan, dating back many years ago. So this one hurt, but nonetheless, it's a great opportunity to learn and spread some basketball knowledge to improve some young player or even old players' IQs on the floor. So again, if you found anything of value in this video, make sure you hit that like button. Leave a comment below of what you liked. If there's some other techniques that you employ when you play, or things that you teach, or things you want to learn more about, or you want me to do videos on in the future, let me know down in the comments. Also, share this video with your friends on Instagram. Make sure you share it to your story. Tag me in it. Follow the podcast page. I'll follow back. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate the support. Gonna drop new videos like this pretty regularly. Yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel.